Hello again, welcome back. On today's video we're going to be doing a little walk through South London, and we're in Elephant and Castle. Now I have done Elephant and Castle before in a previous video, but I thought I'd come back and have a look at it, as it has undergone a lot of redevelopment in recent years. In fact, the redevelopment is still going on. As you can see, the tower cranes there in the background. It's still under a lot of construction. But like a lot of these neighbourhoods in London, you've got the old living next door to the new, which I quite like, the contrast. So if this is something you'd like to see, stick around and we'll go for a little wander and take in some of the sights and sounds. Now, Elephant and Castle, for those that don't know, has always been famous really for the shopping centre. It was one of the earliest ones built, an indoor shopping centre in the mid-60s, I believe, and more famous really for the pink elephant that adorned the top of it. The pink elephant with a castle on top. It was a famous symbol that was symbolised with Elephant and Castle really, not for all the right reasons, it has to be said. Some people hated the shopping centre, some people really loved it. It was quite iconic, but it was very concrete in structure, brutalist I believe they call it. So it was loved and hated by the locals in equal measure. But as you can see now, there's a lot of regeneration going on, a lot of towers, skyscrapers, office blocks. Now, I'm not sure what this building is on the right here. Maybe that was a town hall, was it? Oh no, it's a church, Sunday services. Just caught that out the corner of my eye. And also, like a lot of London, we've got the bike lanes now been put in, so it's kind of semi-pedestrianised, loads of cycle lanes, which is a good thing. Because if anyone's ever driven around this part of London, you'll know it's not the easiest. In fact, it can be pretty scary if you're not familiar with it. It was actually known as a very dangerous sort of place to drive before, pedestrians as well, really, an accident hotspot. And it was so busy round here that the actual locals used to call it Piccadilly of the South. Piccadilly Circus of South London, so I believe. And also during the war it was bombed extensively. So it was rebuilt in the sort of 50s and 60s. And I think now, in 2025, it's undergoing a lot of redevelopment again. It's probably starting to look a bit tired. In the 60s and 70s it was kind of ahead of the curve, but now it's trying to catch up with other parts of London. But it's always interesting to see the old and the new living side by side, and there's a good example of it there. You can see the old 60s built flats above the shops, and then the tower skyscrapers right next to it. Now, it was famous for the Haygate estate as well, if anyone remembers that. It was a big sprawling council estate that was right on the Elephant and Castle. And it was recently knocked down, I think, and turned into a park. It was once a model of modern living, I believe, but then later it became a symbolic of failed post-war housing, and it was eventually demolished. And I think they've built a park in its place now, Elephant Park, But the Haygate estate was very famous. You couldn't miss it if you drive past or went past on a bus. It was a bit of an eyesore, to be honest. In fact, I think it was actually made famous with a film with Michael Caine in it a few years ago. You'd probably check that out. But as you can see, it's pretty modern now. You've got a lot of glass and concrete structures now. And more going up there in the distance. It kind of reminds me of a lot of places in London. I did a video previously of Paddington, which is very similar. You've got the old situated right next to the new, and it's kind of gives it a good contrast, I believe. But we'll carry on walking. Found a break in the traffic, we'll get across the road here. And as you can see, a lot of modern buildings now. Some housing, some are financial. I think that was a picture of an elephant there, or am I just imagining that? He's got a lot of stuff on his bike. But cycling's probably the easiest way to get around now. You've got a lot of really good cycle lanes around this part of London now as well. It's been semi-pedestrianised, as you can see here, and a lot of bike lanes, kind of separated from the traffic. And believe me, you don't want to drive around here unless you really have to. It's a bit scary, to say the least. But I think they've done a good job of it. And a lot of areas in London are getting that village feel to them, I believe. So there's a lot of shops here, or shop front. Some are open, some are not. I think we'll have a walk back down. So it's pedestrianised and cycles. There are little blue plaques there. No cars allowed down, which is a good thing. So completely separated from heavy traffic. It's got all the little shops, everything you would need. So I think there's an idea behind these 15-minute cities they're talking about rather, where everything's sort of local, like a local doctor's, all your shops, restaurants and so on, so you don't really need to get in your car and drive about. It's definitely a lot safer for that, that's for sure, but it does divide opinion as well. So but you can see the guy there with the bike, that's the way he's doing his deliveries. There's quite a lot of bikes there, as you can see, with the baskets. There's another elephant, never too far away from an elephant. So they're still doing a lot of work on this park. It's roped off in sections, and as you can see the tower cranes in the distance. So a bit like Canary Wharf or even Paddington, which I've just done in previous videos, there's a lot of work going on redeveloping them. Looks pretty good too, I have to say. Well, they're definitely encouraging cycling here, that's for sure. Castle Square, this is called. Oh, is there a pink elephant on the roof there? There is, I can see one. It's not the giant one. Now there's an example of an old existing building being repurposed. It's got the old brickwork there. I always like to look at that. I've never seen so many bikes. It's kind of a little bit like Amsterdam. Elephant and Castle is the new Amsterdam. And there's an example of the really old part of Elephant and Castle. Probably the Victorian built arches there that weren't bombed or weren't demolished after the war. And the train arches there. Or maybe they were damaged in the war and rebuilt, I don't know, but you've got the real modern living and the real old there. it must be quite difficult for the delivery drivers in vans and trucks to actually get anything delivered. It's all pedestrianised. I don't know how you get in and out. Now also I did read somewhere that it was known as Little Colombia, the amount of people from South America that live here. I don't know how true that is, but I did read it somewhere. It's got a very large Latin American community, especially around Elephant Road and Walworth Road. So I'm sure somebody in the comments will know if that's true or not. And it's also got one of London's oldest market streets, Walworth Road. It's been a busy commercial street since the Middle Ages. So this is where the deliveries are coming in by the look of it. And there's the Elephant and Castle British Rail station. I thought I'd come down and have a look at that. Quite a lot of graffiti as well on the old brickwork there. I don't mind viewing a bit of graffiti, but I don't actually like it when it's on old Victorian brickwork. I prefer to look at the actual brickwork than graffiti, I have to say. But maybe some people think it livens it up, brightens the place up, gives it a bit of colour. So I've noticed some of the shops do have Spanish names or Portuguese names, so there probably is some truth about being a large South American group of people living here. Quickly get across. They're so wide, the lanes here at Elephant and Castle as well. It's a bit scary crossing the road, never mind driving around here. Is that the Elephant and Castle pub? Or just the castle? Anyway, I think that's pretty much it covered. I think we'll end the video there. If there's any others you would like me to do, areas in London, just drop me a text or in a comment below and I'll hopefully cover them. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.